Introduction. Every page of this book opens a doorway to wonder, a new world where children become explorers, dreamers, and heroes in their own right. Within these stories, you'll find talking animals, brave friendships, and magical surprises waiting behind every cloud, tree, and whispering breeze. Each adventure shows how imagination can turn an ordinary afternoon into something truly extraordinary. Whether it's a dragon who sneezes bubbles, a penguin who dares to surf, or a mouse outsmarting a snake, the world here belongs to every curious heart ready to believe. These tales invite you to slow down, smile, and remember the small moments that make childhood shine. The laughter after a tumble, the warmth of a hug, the sparkle of stars after a long day's play. So open the cover wide, take a deep breath, and step inside the world of endless possibility. The stories are waiting to begin, and the next great adventure starts with you. Story 1, How to Catch a Dragon, the Silly Way. Everyone in Willowtown said there was a dragon living behind the library. Not a scary dragon, a tiny green, marshmallow-scented one who liked to roast acorns with his breath. The kids called him Pickle because, well, he was about the size of one. Eddie, Sally, and Marcus decided today was the day to catch him. They gathered behind the library after school, arms full of supplies. "I brought the super dragon net," said Eddie, proudly holding up a tangled pile of socks tied together. Sally giggled. "That's just your laundry." "It's strategic laundry," said Eddie. Sally held up a shiny bowl filled with peanut butter and rainbow sprinkles. Dragons love peanut butter. Everyone knows that. Marcus came last, dragging 2 shoelaces knotted into a loop. "This is the dragon lasso," he said. "My dad's fancy laces." The 3 friends crouched in the grass. The air smelled like wet leaves and the dusty pages of old books drifting from the library window. They waited and waited. A cricket chirped. The wind tickled their hair. Then, achoo! A tiny sneeze came from the bushes, followed by a puff of sparkly smoke. Out popped the smallest dragon any of them had ever seen, blinking his golden eyes and clutching a tissue. "Bless you," said Sally. "Sorry," sniffed the dragon. "I'm allergic to peanut butter sprinkles." Eddie dropped his net. Marcus dropped his lasso. The dragon looked embarrassed. "Were you trying to catch me?" "Well," Eddie mumbled, "we were hoping to." The dragon tilted his head, his scales glimmering like tiny emeralds in the sunlight. "Why catch me when we could just play?" And that's exactly what they did. They built him a pillow fort out of library cushions, toasted mini marshmallows over his warm breath, and told stories until the fireflies came out. When it was time to go, Pickle yawned a puff of golden smoke. "Can we see you again?" asked Marcus. "Only if you promise not to catch me," said the dragon with a wink. As they walked home under the fading pink sky, Eddie smiled. "Best plan we ever messed up," he said. Morale: sometimes it's better to make a friend than to catch one. Story 2, Peanut Butter and Jelly Bear. Deep in Pinecone Woods lived Benny the Bear, a big fuzzy fellow with an even bigger sweet tooth. Not for honey, oh no. Benny loved peanut butter and jelly sandwiches more than anything in the world. He loved them crunchy or smooth, grape or strawberry, cut in triangles or squares. Every morning the forest smelled of roasted peanuts and toast as Benny hummed, "Peanut butter, jelly jam. I'm the happiest bear I am." But one morning when he opened his cupboard, empty. No peanut butter, no jelly, not even a crumb of bread. "Oh no," he moaned. "A bear without peanut butter is just fur and sadness." He clomped through the forest, paws muddy, tummy growling. "Have you seen my peanut butter?" he asked the raccoons. They shook their striped heads. "Try the beavers," squeaked a chipmunk. The beavers handed him a bucket of mud. "It's brown and sticky," Benny sniffed. "It's not that kind of sticky." At last he lumbered into the village bakery. The baker smiled kindly. "What's wrong, big friend?" "I ran out of peanut butter," Benny sniffled. The baker chuckled and handed him an apron. "Then let's make some." Together they roasted peanuts, stirred sugar, and swirled jelly until the shop smelled warm and wonderful. When Benny tasted the first sandwich, his eyes went wide. "It's perfect." That night, the forest animals followed the smell to a grand picnic. Even the foxes licked their paws. From that day on, a new sign hung over the bakery door. Benny's PB&J, made with love and Big Bear paws. Morale, sharing what you love makes the world taste better. Story 3, the day the toys went on strike. It happened one Monday morning when Teddy had had enough. "No more flopping on the floor," he declared. "No more jelly on my paws," Dolly crossed her arms. "And no more sticky kisses without asking." The toy cars revved in protest. Even the crayons scribbled signs. "No more broken points. Blocks deserve breaks." When Emma came home from school, her room was silent. Her toys were lined up across the rug, faces serious. "What's going on?" she whispered. Teddy puffed his fuzzy chest. "We've been overplayed and underloved." Dolly nodded. "We need rest, baths, and maybe fresh batteries." Emma blinked. "You're talking." "We've always talked," said Teddy. "You just never listened." Emma felt a tiny pinch in her heart. "I'm sorry." She spent the whole afternoon giving them a spa day, bubble baths for Teddy, hair brushing for Dolly, polishing for the cars. That night, the toys whispered, "Thank you." As Emma turned off the lamp, Teddy smiled. Sometimes even toys need a little kindness to keep their magic alive. Moral, treat your toys and your friends with care. They'll love you forever. Story 4, the lunchbox letters. Every school morning, Emma's dad packed her lunch. A sandwich, an apple, and always a little folded note. Sometimes it said, "Have a great day. Love you, Dad." Other times, "You're braver than you think." And once it simply said, "Don't forget, smile big today." At first, Emma barely noticed them, but soon those notes became her favorite part of lunch. She'd open the box, smile, and show her friends, "Look what Dad wrote today." Her classmates laughed at the doodles and sweet messages, but Emma felt something deeper, like her dad's love was sitting right beside her every day at school. Then one morning, she had a big spelling test, and when she opened her lunchbox, there was no note. Her heart sank. Did Dad forget? But when she unwrapped her sandwich, she found the words written right on the bread. "You've got this, smarty pants." She laughed so hard that even her teacher smiled. And when she got home, she waved the bread proudly. "You didn't forget," her dad winked. "I'd never forget a note from my favorite girl." As years passed, the notes kept coming. Through field trips, school plays, and tough days, tiny love letters reminding her she was never alone. When Emma grew up, she started writing notes too. And one day her own child opened their lunchbox to find, "You're braver than you think. Love, Mom." Moral, the smallest words of love can echo through a lifetime. Story 5, the bird who was afraid to fly. Benny the bluebird loved everything about being a bird, except flying. He loved singing in the morning and hopping from branch to branch. But when the other birds leapt into the sky, Benny's wings folded tight. "What if I fall?" he whispered. "What if the wind forgets to catch me?" One sunny morning, a baby squirrel slipped from a tree and landed with a squeak. "Help!" cried the squirrel. "I can't climb back up." The robins fluttered nervously. The woodpecker peered down but didn't move. Benny's heart thumped. He wanted to help, but that meant leaving his branch. He looked at the trembling squirrel, took a deep breath, and spread his wings. They wobbled, they flapped, and suddenly the air lifted him. He glided down, scooped the little squirrel by the tail fluff, and rose again, light as a dandelion seed. The forest cheered. Even the old owl hooted, "Bravo!" Benny's feathers glowed with pride. The wind hadn't forgotten him after all. It had just been waiting for him to trust it. Morale, courage isn't being fearless. It's doing something even when you're scared. Story 6, the door to somewhere magical. Maya's house had lots of doors. One to her room, one to the kitchen, one to the backyard. But one rainy afternoon, she noticed something new, a tiny gold door behind her bookshelf. It wasn't there yesterday. It shimmered faintly like moonlight trapped in a keyhole. Maya crouched low and knocked. Knock, knock. No answer. So she whispered, "Hello?" Still nothing. Then she turned the tiny handle and crawled through. On the other side, everything sparkled. Rainbows ran along the ground. Flowers hummed lullabies. A teacup hopped past her, wearing a hat. "Welcome to somewhere magical," said a snail in a top hat. He offered her a sugar cube the size of a pillow. Maya giggled. "Thank you, Mr. Snail." She explored a candy river that whispered secrets and watched clouds shape themselves into friendly animals. The air smelled like bubblegum and lilac. But when the sun began to set, Maya sighed. "I should go home before dinner." The snail tipped his hat. "Will you come back?" "Of course," Maya said. "How will I find the door again?" "Just close your eyes," said the snail, "and imagine it." When she opened her eyes, she was back in her room, the gold door gone. But her shoes sparkled faintly, dusty with rainbow sugar. Morale: the magic we find in the world often begins in our imagination. Story 7. 3 wishes and a half. Timmy was digging in the sandbox when he found something shiny. A small brass lamp, covered in glitter and cookie crumbs. He rubbed it with his sleeve. Poof! A puff of purple smoke appeared, and out popped a sleepy genie in fuzzy slippers. "You get 3 wishes," yawned the genie, "and maybe half of one more. I'm new at this." Timmy grinned. First wish, a mountain of ice cream. Poof! The playground filled with vanilla scoops and chocolate rivers. Second, a robot that does my homework. Zap! A shiny robot appeared, holding a pencil and saying, "Affirmative." But before he made his third wish, Timmy saw his friend Lily crying. Her kite was stuck high in a tree. Timmy looked at the genie, then at Lily. "I wish her kite could fly again." Whoosh! The kite untangled itself and soared into the clouds, sparkling like a star. Lily laughed and hugged him tight. The genie smiled. "A selfless wish. Nice move, kid." "What about my half wish?" Timmy asked. The genie snapped his fingers. "Half of your ice cream for everyone else." The whole playground cheered, eating until their faces were sticky and sweet. And when the genie disappeared, he left behind a small sign in the sand. The more you share, the more magic stays. Moral: the best wishes are the ones that make others happy too. Story 8. The Cat Who Found His Courage. Whiskers was a soft gray kitten with big golden eyes and a nervous heart. When the toaster popped, he hid under the couch. When the wind rattled the window, he dove under the bed. He was scared of thunder, shadows, even the vacuum cleaner. His best friend, Daisy the puppy, was the complete opposite. She barked at thunder, chased her tail in storms, and laughed at shadows. "Let's chase butterflies," she yipped. Whiskers shook his head. "Too fluttery." "Let's climb the fence." "Too high." "Let's nap." "Too bright." But one night, a thunderstorm rolled in, loud as drums, wild as a marching band. Lightning flashed and Daisy whimpered. Her brave little paws trembled. Whiskers peeked from under the bed and saw his friend shaking. Something inside him, small but strong, said, "Help her." He patted over and pressed against her side. "It's okay," he purred softly. "We're safe together." The thunder rolled, but Whiskers didn't flinch. He purred louder until Daisy stopped trembling. By morning, the storm had passed. Daisy stretched and wagged her tail. "Want to chase butterflies?" she barked. Whiskers smiled. "Only if I can go first." Moral: sometimes courage means being brave for someone else first. Story 9. At the end of the rainbow, Ellie loved rainbows. She drew them on the sidewalk with chalk, painted them on her window, and even dreamed about sliding down one like a playground slide. So when a real rainbow appeared after a summer storm, stretching wide across the sky, she decided she had to find the end. She packed her red boots, a peanut butter sandwich, and her goldfish named Popcorn, who rode in a jar strapped to her backpack. Through puddles she splashed, past fields that smelled like wet grass and daisies, until the rainbow shimmered so low she could almost touch it. She climbed a hill and gasped. The end of the rainbow dipped into a tiny pond that glowed with colors, but instead of a pot of gold, there was a small frog sitting on a lily pad, wearing a crooked crown. "Looking for treasure?" croaked the frog. Ellie nodded. "Everyone says there's gold at the end of the rainbow." The frog smiled. "Look again." Ellie looked around and saw the world sparkling. Sunlight glittered on the pond. Butterflies flitted through the air. Popcorn blew tiny bubbles that shimmered pink and blue. It was more beautiful than any treasure she'd imagined. When Ellie walked home, her heart felt lighter than gold. And if you look closely, you could see a rainbow still following her boots. Morale: the treasure at the end of the rainbow is the adventure itself. Story 10. The Midnight Toy Parade. The house was quiet. The clock struck midnight, and in the glow of the moonlight, every toy in Max's room stretched and yawned. "Parade time," whispered Teddy. "Parade time," echoed the race cars, their wheels spinning with excitement. The crayons drew confetti in the air. Red, blue, and green sparkles that danced like fireflies. The drums rolled out a rhythm: boom tap, tap. Even the building blocks stacked themselves into a marching castle. But one toy stayed behind, a small silver robot with a missing battery. "I can't move," he sighed. "I'll just watch." Teddy winked. "No one gets left behind on parade night." He gently lifted the robot onto a toy truck, and together they rolled into the moonlight streaming through the window. They marched across the rug, past the sleeping goldfish bowl, around the rocking chair, and through the moonbeams spilling on the floor. Max stirred in his sleep, a tiny smile spreading across his face. He dreamed of drums, laughter, and glowing stars. When morning came, all the toys were back in place, except for one little crayon mark on the wall shaped like a heart. Moral: everyone deserves to be included, even when they can't march to the same beat. Story 11. Kindness in a Cupcake. Molly loved baking more than anything. She baked muffins for her mom, cookies for her cat, and cupcakes for anyone who needed a smile. One morning, as she stirred chocolate batter in her mixing bowl, she saw the new boy next door sitting alone on his porch. He looked sad, like a balloon that had lost its air. Molly thought for a moment. "Cupcakes fix everything," she said, tying on her apron. She mixed flour and sugar, humming softly. She added rainbow sprinkles and a swirl of pink frosting shaped like a rose. When she was done, the kitchen smelled like warm vanilla sunshine. She placed the cupcake in a little box, tied it with string, and carried it outside. "Hi," she said shyly. "I'm Molly. This is for you." The boy blinked in surprise. "For me?" "Of course," she said. "Everyone deserves a first friend cupcake." He took a bite, and his eyes sparkled. "This tastes like happy." They laughed together, and by afternoon, they were drawing silly faces in flour on her kitchen counter. The next day, he brought her cookies, shaped like hearts. From then on, they baked something new together every weekend. Moral: a small act of kindness can sweeten someone's whole day. Story 12. My Pet Dinosaur. Dave Jamie loved exploring his backyard. He dug for treasure, collected shiny rocks, and built castles out of mud. But one afternoon, his shovel clinked against something unusual: a big speckled egg buried beneath the leaves. It wiggled, it cracked, and out popped a tiny green dinosaur. "Roar!" said the dinosaur. "Whoa!" whispered Jamie. "I think I'll call you Dave." Dave was about the size of a basketball, with shiny scales and bright, curious eyes. He followed Jamie everywhere, to breakfast, to the park, even to bath time. He splashed a lot. But Dave grew fast. Soon he didn't fit under the table, or through the door, or even in the backyard. He accidentally sat on a tricycle, flattened a sprinkler, and ate all the cereal, box and all. Jamie sighed. "You're too big for the house, Dave." Dave's tail drooped sadly. So Jamie built him a home in the meadow, with tall grass, a tiny pond, and a sign that read, "Dave's Cave, visitors welcome." Every day after school, Jamie brought snacks and stories. Dave roared softly when he saw him, happy to have a home and a friend who never stopped believing in dinosaurs. Morale: sometimes loving someone means giving them room to grow. Story 13. Rocket to the Moon. Zoe and Max wanted to go to the moon, but they didn't have a spaceship, so they built one themselves. A cardboard box became the cockpit, old soda bottles became boosters, and their dog Pickles became the co-pilot, wearing a tinfoil helmet. They drew buttons on the box, made a flag out of a pillowcase, and stacked pillows under the launch pad to soften the landing. "Countdown!" shouted Zoe. 3, 2, 1. "Blast off!" yelled Max. The lights flickered. The room shook, mostly from their jumping, and suddenly they were in space. The floor became stars, the lamps became planets, and Pickles floated past them with a happy woof. They landed on the moon, the couch, planted their flag, and declared, "This land belongs to all adventurers." They found moon rocks, marshmallows, built moon huts from blankets, and bounced in slow motion until bedtime. When Mom called, "Dinner time," they radioed back, "Mission complete, returning to Earth." They left their cardboard ship in the living room that night because you never know when you'll need it again. Morale: with imagination, even your backyard can become the universe. Story 14. The Shy Monster Under the Bed. Every night when Lily turned off her lamp, she thought she heard something move under the bed. It didn't growl. It didn't roar. It just whispered softly, "Hello?" Lily froze. "Monsters don't say hello," she whispered back. The voice sighed. "I know. I'm terrible at scaring people." She leaned over the bed and peeked down with her flashlight. There, curled up beside her slippers, was the smallest, roundest monster she'd ever seen. Fuzzy purple fur, big golden eyes, and a shy smile. "What's your name?" Lily asked. "Gumble," said the monster, clutching a teddy bear with 3 arms. "Why are you hiding under my bed?" "I like it here. It's quiet, but everyone screams when they see me." Lily thought for a moment. "Well, I won't scream," she said. "Do you want to be friends?" Gumble's eyes lit up like stars. They stayed awake playing shadow puppets on the wall and giggling until they both fell asleep. In the morning, Gumble was gone, but a note lay on Lily's pillow. "Thank you for seeing me, not fearing me." Morale: sometimes what we fear most just wants a friend. Story 15. The Case of the Missing Sock. Detective Danny was the best detective on Maple Street. He'd already solved the mystery of the vanishing cookie and the case of the muddy paw prints. But today was different. Today, something big was missing. "Mom," he cried, "Lefty's sock has disappeared." Mom smiled. "Maybe he's in the laundry." "Already checked," said Danny. "It's a real mystery." He grabbed his magnifying glass, notebook, and flashlight. The first clue, a trail of lint leading down the hall. He crouched low, following it carefully. He interrogated suspects. The cat, insuspiciously fluffy, but silent. The dog wagged his tail too hard to be guilty. His baby sister gurgled and clapped, but confessed nothing. Danny said, jotting notes. Then he spotted something behind the couch. A small, fuzzy lump. He reached in and pulled out. Lefty's sock. Except Lefty wasn't alone. A toy hamster had made a cozy little bed inside it. Danny smiled. Aha! A missing sock in a new home. Case closed. He gave the hamster a tiny pillow and tucked the sock safely back in the drawer. That night, he stuck a sticker on his detective notebook. The Great Sock Mystery Solved. Moral: every mystery can be solved with patience, curiosity, and kindness. Story 16, Taco T-Rex and the Great Burrito Feast. In Dino Valley, there lived a young T-Rex named Tony, but Tony wasn't like the others. While the other dinosaurs roared, stomped, and chased, Tony cooked. He loved flipping pancakes with his tail and roasting veggies with his fiery breath. His favorite dish? Tacos. One morning, Tony had a brilliant idea. I'll throw a feast for everyone in Dino Valley, he said. He gathered peppers, beans, and salsa and began to cook. Soon the valley smelled amazing. Pterodactyls swooped down to see what was sizzling. Triceratops peeked around a rock. Even the grumpy old Stegosaurus followed his nose. When they saw the tables lined with tacos, burritos, and giant bowls of guacamole, they gasped. Tony grinned. Dig in! The dinosaurs ate until their bellies rumbled like thunder. Then the Triceratops stood and said, Tony, these are the best tacos in history. Tony blushed. Thanks. Cooking makes my heart roar. And from that day on, every Tuesday in Dino Valley was known as Taco T-Rex Day, the happiest day of the week. Moral: being different can make you the most special of all. Story 17, The Magic Scarf. Mia found it one frosty morning, tangled on a fence post, a red scarf with gold threads that shimmered like sunlight. When she wrapped it around her neck, she suddenly floated. Just an inch, then 2, then higher. The wind giggled around her as she drifted above the snow. She soared over rooftops, gliding past chimneys and waving to the sparrows. The world below glittered white and peaceful. Down in the park, she saw a little boy shivering on a bench. His mittens were torn, and his breath puffed like tiny clouds. Without thinking, Mia floated down and wrapped the scarf around him. Instantly, it glowed, then melted into 2 warm mittens. The boy gasped. Magic! Mia smiled. It works best when you share it. When she walked home, another scarf fluttered onto the fence. Red, gold, and waiting for the next kind heart. Moral: the real magic in life is sharing warmth with others. Story 18, How to Sail a Pirate Ship from Your Bathtub. Captain Benny was the greatest bathtub pirate who ever sailed the 7 seas of soap. He wore a washcloth hat, a toothbrush sword, and his trusty crew, 2 rubber ducks and 1 plastic whale. Raise the anchor, he shouted, splashing water with his spoon. The ducks bobbed up and down. Aye, Captain. They sailed through waves of shampoo, dodged whirlpools made by the drain, and braved a terrible storm, caused by the faucet turning on too fast. Hold the line, cried Captain Benny, as bubbles foamed high around him. The whale squirted water from its blowhole, spraying everything nearby. The sea was wild, the air smelled like lavender soap, and Benny's laughter echoed through the ocean. Suddenly, his ship, the soap dish, tilted dangerously. Land ho! Yelled a duck, pointing its beak toward the sink island. A glittering treasure chest of shiny coins, actually Mom's earrings. But just as Benny reached for the treasure, a giant voice boomed, Benny, you're splashing the floor again! He froze, then grinned sheepishly. Aye, First Mate Mom. He scooped up his soggy crew and safely steered back to port, his towel. That night, Benny drew a treasure map with blue crayon, just in case he ever needed to sail again. Morale: with imagination, even the smallest place can hold the grandest adventure. Story 19. My tiger friend Leo always wanted a pet, a dog, a cat, even a goldfish, but his parents said no. Too messy, said Mom. Too noisy, said Dad. So Leo made one up instead. He called him Stripe, an invisible tiger with orange fur, blue eyes, and a purr that rumbled like faraway thunder. Stripe followed him everywhere, to the park, to school, to the dentist. When Leo was scared, Stripe stood tall beside him. When Leo was lonely, Stripe wrapped his tail around him like a blanket. One afternoon, a new girl moved next door. Her name was Ava. She saw Leo talking to thin air and laughed. Who are you talking to? She teased. My tiger, Leo said. You can't see him unless you believe. Ava crossed her arms. There's no such thing. Leo just smiled. There is, if you want there to be. Later that day, Ava came back holding a small notebook. Can we draw him? She asked softly. They sat in the grass for hours, coloring Stripe into the pages. And just as the sun began to set, a warm breeze swept over them, carrying the faint sound of a purr. A shadow shaped like a tiger curled beside them in the golden light. Ava's eyes went wide. Hi, Stripe, she whispered. Leo smiled. Told you, moral. Imagination shared is friendship multiplied. Story 20. The Star That Forgot to Shine. Far above the clouds, where the night sky sparkled like a sea of diamonds, lived a little star named Luma. Every evening, the stars twinkled proudly, but Luma's light flickered and dimmed. I don't shine like the others, she sighed. Try spinning, said one star. Try singing, said another. Luma tried both. She twirled and hummed, but still her light stayed small. She drifted to the edge of the sky and peeked down at Earth. Below, she saw a little boy standing at his window, hands clasped tight. Please help my mom feel better, he whispered into the night. Luma felt a soft tug in her chest. Someone was wishing on her. I'll try, she whispered. She focused all her warmth, all her love, and squeezed her glow tighter and tighter, until whoosh, she burst into brilliant golden light that rippled across the heavens. The boy below smiled. Thank you, little star. Luma beamed so brightly that even the moon clapped. From that night on, whenever someone made a wish from Earth, Luma's light always flickered a little brighter. Moral: you shine brightest when your light helps someone else.